All right, cool.
Now, now we're live. Now we're live.
Good deal. Tell them to spill, my boy.
Hey, welcome to the monthly BWO podcast here on let's see, Facebook, StreamYard, YouTube. Tonight we're just gonna chop it up. We had to reschedule Mr. Spielberg due to the hurricane. And so Lance and I are here just to have an open forum and talk about what folks want to talk about. If there's anybody that wants to talk about things, and we'll just kind of see how things go for an hour. But we are here and we're ready to go.
Yeah, we'll just give it a few minutes, man. Let's see if we get anybody on there. I know we don't have a lot of people that get on here, but
Yeah.
where I go to look at the comments, Jay, so I can help you out, or can I not do that?
On the let's see. Let me post a comment. Tell me if you can see it. Can you see that?
No.
Probably not, because that comment is on YouTube. So you would have to go, Lance. You would have to go to my Facebook page in order to see my comment. In order to see comments, because again, because of StreamYard's bullshit. So,
we need to try to get that fixed, bro, so I can interact too.
Man, I don't know any way to fix it.
I don't know.
So what I have usually been doing, right, is monitoring Adam Fields, Carl Clemens, and Salvador Alvalos are watching with us. Welcome, fellas. How's it going tonight? So I'll monitor the comments, Lance. Where'd he go? Lance. Lance went bye-bye. He'll be right back with us. Now he's back. Where'd you go, big homie?
My bad, Jerry. Damn, now I can't hear you.
You can't hear me? Damn it. Really? Hang on a minute, Lance.
Damn.
What about now?
I can't hear you.
What about now? No. Can you hear me now? Well, I'm seeing comments from Facebook now. Adam, do me a favor and let me know if you can hear me right now. Hi, Lance. You can't hear me? I don't know what's going on. Tim says all I hear is a hurricane. Shit. Adam says he can hear us both. Can you hear me? Shit. Can you hear me now, Lance? Lance. Can't. For some reason, Lance is not being able to hear me.
hear you now, bro. I can hear you now.
You got me?
Yes, sir.
I was freaking out that maybe, but I see. I don't know why, but I'm seeing Facebook comments, so we're good.
So I figured out how to see the comments. I know how to. I can, but I have to check. But if I hit the back button too many times, that's what I did, and it got me out. So I'm probably not going to check the comments too much. But
Okay.
we're going to get better with it, y'all. You know, we don't do it but once a month. So, and we really do it just because, you know, we're still trying to grow, you know, everything with the BWO and the bully world. But we usually have a guest. Like I said, FW couldn't make it because of the hurricanes, you know. God bless all them people and watch over whoever couldn't make it out. And even
Yeah.
if you did make it out, you know, hope that, you know, you don't come back to nothing, you know. And so,
Yeah.
you know, and I don't know, Jerry, man, you know, maybe we'll do maybe the BWO, maybe we'll get together with everybody and see if they want to do, like, you know, put a stud up or something for some money and try to send it somewhere, you know.
Yeah.
That'd probably be a good idea.
When you say send it somewhere, what do you mean?
Send it to, you know, like the hurricane relief or take the money we get and go buy a bunch of waters and stuff and, you know, maybe take it down there or something, you know.
Yeah, I hear you. Wouldn't hurt.
I may talk to you when we get offline about that, but yeah,
Okay.
so it's an open forum tonight. You know, anybody that gets on here, Jerry can see the comments. I can't. I mean, I can, but we're not going to try that again. So we're going to let Jerry do it. We're going to get better with this, y'all. You know, beginning of next year, you know, I plan on having me and Jerry some microphones. You know, I got to get up there with him, and you know, we're going to get better setups. But you know, right now it's just really, you know, once a month, and it's for us, you know, to, you know, let everybody know about the BWO and what we're doing, but it's also, you know, for the community. So tonight's definitely for the community. If y'all have any questions or got anything y'all want to talk about bully wise or something, you know, we always try to stay drama free on here. So if you got something about drama, you know, if we start talking about it and it starts going left, we're gonna move to a different topic because
Gonna knock it off. So we have
or if anybody out there wants to come on or, you know, or something, you know, let us know, man. You know, we'll get you on for a brief little minute and tell us about your kennel and, you know, just anything. Like I said, we're just on here for an hour, but, you know, we wanted to, just cause, you know, they backed out, you know, because they had to, because of the disaster. We didn't want to, you know, we wanted to keep it routine. So we're shooting from the hip here, but we're going to keep it rolling.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. If anybody wants to come on, I'll shoot them a link and they can come on and join us, you know.
I think it's going to be better too, Jerry, when we get, you know, bigger screens and something where I can work and where I can look at, you know, get all our platforms. We may have to end up doing something else, but we got to figure out where I can share it like you were. Because when I just got off a while ago, I saw on your Facebook, like it popped up first thing, you know, you on live. So that's good too. We need to figure out how we can get it out a little more.
Need to figure out how to get you back up.
Well, I think it's going to pick up, you know, because, you know, we interviewed all our BWO people at first and, you know, that kind of got repetitive and, you know, but we wanted to, you know, put the light on them first. And now I think we're going out and getting, you know, different people. Maybe somebody will want to hear a different story about, you know, what made you want to join the BWO, you know?
Yeah. Let's see. Trying to figure out. You remember how to get the comments going at the end of the or on the page by any chance?
Say that again, Jerry. I'm sorry, I had a phone call coming in. I didn't hear a lot of that.
Before we've had where we've posted where the comments have come up on the screen, so that way you can see them.
Are you trying to tell me that now?
No, I'm.
I hit the button.
Never, hang on a minute. I remember now. I remember it. So.
Oh, there you go. Samaritan's Purse. Okay, appreciate that, Adam. Yeah, we're gonna try to do something if it ain't nothing where we can get some money up or maybe and donate some stuff, you know, bottles of water and stuff like that. Because, you know, I worked at Katrina when it happened down in New Orleans and stuff, and you know, it's you go down there, man, after something like that, and it's it's a different world. You know, everybody's kind of living in the Wild West. I mean, I saw people pulling knives over a bag of ice and stuff. I mean, it gets real quick. Down there, and and just like I said, we're just praying for them. But yeah, well, me and Jerry will figure something out. We'll get up with John, our president, our vice president, John, and see what he wants to see what they want to do, and BWO is definitely going to do something.
Right on. So,
damn it. I mean,
that's what Jared wants.
I'm going to tell you my opinion about it. I wasn't planning on going to nationals this year just because work's so busy, but I want to go now, to see, to kind of see it, how it does. I really want to be somebody who kind of sees it and experiences it first to see, I don't know, I don't agree with, a lot of things, that, people do, but I mean, my vision's my vision. And I understand, I've never built a registry. I've never, I mean, I can just imagine how difficult it is and trying to stay and keep up and all that. But, where we stand over here at Blue Magic Bullies, we don't like any Merles, any Fluffies, any of that stuff. But, and they're doing the extreme class. I mean, to me, if the dogs fit the class and you having a problem where he's standard, but he, more extreme. So I just want to see how they're going to do it. If they're going to allow flaws and stuff, how much, they're going to allow. My bad, y'all. We're struggling tonight with the technical difficulties. But I really want to be somebody who experiences it first. And I don't know, Jared. I don't know what you think about it, Jared.
Yeah, Jared, what do you think about it? You want to come on and talk about it?
Or Jerry, or yeah, bring Jared on. You want to come on, Jared?
Yeah, I shoot him a message. Let's see. We'll just go invite Jared.
And keep it positive, whether you agree with it or you don't agree with it. Everybody's got opinion. To me, I would like to, I like cleaner dogs. So to me, but a lot of people out there that's got the extreme dogs don't think there should be a classic class. I'm trying to get out of the classic class. I want a true standard. But I mean, I don't know. Just like I said, man. I mean, if it, I don't know. I'm mixed feelings, I guess, really.
Yeah, they say it's an exhibition. In some ways, I think it's
well, they're just checking the water. They're sticking their toe in the water is what they're doing.
Yeah, exactly.
But like I said, it's not, it's not my registry. It's not, it's none of our registries. It's a registry we choose to follow, and I just hope that they just keep, and I think they will. You've had a couple judges come out this year and say, hey, we're going to pick a little more towards structure, because I just don't want to see it go downhill. But the people with extreme dogs say lack of mass is just as bad as a ski slope rear, so there's two sides, and there always will be to what you want and everything. I imagine it was like that in horses too, no?
Oh yeah, I mean, ours was here we go.
What's up?
Oh. We got somebody that says from the Mississippi Bully Combine, but I can't make them out.
Yeah, I'm outside.
You outside?
What do you think about it, Jerry?
I think it's unique for sure. I mean, you got extremes. They're gonna bring out the nano bullies or mini bullies.
I ain't even yet.
Oh yeah, like I said, I think it's gonna be interesting.
Yeah, I want to go check it out.
Don't forget the Merle.
Yeah, the Merle. I don't know what to think about it, man. I guess it's one of them 50-50 type deals.
They're gonna do it, but to me, everybody always talk crap about the other registries. Oh, they're doing this, and then now here we are. It started out bringing the fun shows back, and now we're But like they said, I mean, they were registering the dogs. So I feel like if you're going to register the dog at least in that registry, you should at least let it show, because I don't feel like that's fair. you know, like if
I
you
mean,
got,
oh yeah,
go ahead.
but would that like another thing would it not bring back, I guess, more drama? Because if you start allowing them show, what about all the years past? You got to catch up with them for not letting them show, or how does that go?
I mean, I don't know. Like I said, I'm not running it. But you
That's why
know,
I say, I mean, you think about it. I mean, it's cool,
it
but
was. I'm gonna
all
be
that
honest.
time.
It was the one thing that drew me to the ABKC over all the other registries when I was like first getting into it. Right, Jared? Like you were around in those times, and it was the thing that drew me was, oh, this isn't how fast you can run, how much weight you can pull. This is this is where you go and you walk your ring, dog around the ring and get to confirmation. And, that's what drew me. But then, I mean, what brings the crowd, is the big dogs, the big, and especially when they run, pretty good,
Oh
I
yeah,
don't know, man. I'm on the fence about it, bro. Like to me, but I want to check it out before I go say my piece,
yeah. Definitely,
But I
it's
think
been a
it gives
year
those
for all.
people. Go ahead. I'm sorry, Jared. You know me. I'll talk.
Oh, you good? I think say. I mean, they've been doing good. I know they a lot of mostly talk to as far as your Facebook stuff like that goes, been about the big dogs, the stack offs, and you know. So I mean, they're definitely something you want to see, man. I mean, I understand that. It's
And
something to mix it up.
those people with those dogs, I mean, they put in work and time and money and breedings and food and places for them to stay. I mean, they put in just as much work as we do, So I mean, I don't know, man. It's like I said, to answer the question, I guess if anybody asked me, I guess I'd be 50-50. I would be fine if they didn't do it, and if they do it, that's fine because still, I don't have to go show in that class,
Yeah.
I just feel like there's so many registries out there. I didn't feel like they had to do that. I feel like there were so many registries out there ready to pick that money up. I don't know. I didn't see it. I don't know, man. I guess I lean more towards the keep it like it is, and let's try to fix let's try to get better standards and stuff like that before we, start doing something else. But like I said, it's not mine, and I'm still gonna show, and I still feel like ABKC, as far as from where we've been, is still best competition for American bullies. In my few years of running, that's how I feel.
I mean, I don't think it's like definitely. I mean, it's not no knock toward anything or something. It's just curious. Like, what do you think? It's something different. It's something it's been done by other registries. So I mean, this is. I guess it's they're doing it. You know what I'm saying? So I guess that's more the thing.
And Kev said with the BRC, he said since they started, where they are with their micro bullies and even their exotics, right? He said they're so much better than they were because they had people judging them and giving them a heads up, and I guess helping them with breedings and and he said you look at their exotics and stuff now that show are night and day different. So maybe it's a good thing for them too.
Yeah.
But I mean everybody wants to see that dog that's big as a brick house and low to the ground. I think to me I want a standard, but I really feel like it's just hard. If you get a pocket, the top line's good, short little fat back leg, big old head. I mean, it's just hard not to. It's just hard not to like them dogs. So I'm glad I'm talking to myself on here.
Yeah, you're going in and out on me right there. It started glitching or whatever, spinning
Oh
stuff. I can hear you now though.
yeah. I was just talking about the dogs and how it goes and my opinion. I guess I'd
Yeah.
be 50-50, and I want to see it in person and see. But I was saying that I feel like Kev and them with BRC. I don't know if you heard that, but you know Kevin and said that it's gonna since their first exotics and their first micro started showing to where they are now, it's night and day different. So I mean, giving them a platform and judging them and kind of critiquing them, maybe it'll help out overall. And like I said, it ain't gonna hurt. I mean, you showing the class that you're pushing, right? I mean, we all breed dogs, and I mean, you may get a pocket. Well, if that dog turns out nice, well, guess what? It looks like Jerry's showing in the pocket class, or if Jared breeds a really nice standard, or say you get a nice classic that can go, and you want to put a title on him. I mean, you're gonna show that dog. You're gonna show the best dog out of the litter, right? I mean, regardless if it's a
pockets, classic, whatever. Yeah.
XL, whatever.
Good evening, Amanda.
Hey, Amanda. I can't read that, Jerry. You're gonna have to read them out loud.
Oh, okay. You're not seeing them pop up?
Yeah, I'm seeing them, but my eyes.
Oh, well, Amanda says money's already paid by way of registration fees. Money for show entries go to the show host, which is true. ABKC won't be making more money since these varieties are already registered. So
yeah, that's
the host pays ABKC. I think it's $100 for the sanctioning of the show, and then everything else goes to the show host. And
Well, yeah, but I was saying too, though. I mean, if you're going to register the dog anyway and tell them they can't show in your registry, I feel like that they ought to let them show in the registry. So, I mean, that's why I say I'm kind of on the fence. Like I see it, like I'm trying to. I put myself in people's position, right? Like what if I had a yard full of extremes, and every time I went to a show, I got told they were overdone. Well, now, okay, ABKC's, going to put a spot for us over here, so. It'll help breed and everything else too. And they're wanting to get bigger. So obviously they're going to get bigger with the breed and everything. So
yeah,
I don't care who makes the money or who don't, like you said, they're registered. But I do feel like if you register a dog to a registry, you shouldn't be like embarrassed or ashamed of that dog. Like you should, I feel like that they're getting their rightful due to be able to show and stuff. And I don't know what they're really saying on that. Are they going to let them all show and get points, or is this just an exposition and they're just going to try it out?
Well, this is clearly just an exhibition. So none of the dogs shown or anything will be, eligible for any kind of points or anything like that right now. I think, like you said earlier, Lance, I think it's just they're just testing the waters, and partly it might even be it might even be that Dave wants to see the quality of those particular types of dogs before.
That's right.
Or maybe the committee, not just Dave, because these decisions are made by a committee, and I'm guessing probably a competition committee. They want to see what comes out to make a decision about whether or not the quality is there before they allow them to possibly show.
Well, and two, to make nationals feel like freaking nationals, like have it packed, like have more people in there. Like I agree with that. Like, and Jerry can tell you the first one we went to, man, it was pretty packed. And then the last one we went to, it wasn't, didn't seem to have the atmosphere. We missed last year's, I heard last year's was a really good one. But we've been to two, and one of them was right on, was like, everything, you expected in the other one. So I to give somebody something, to give all of us in the community something like where you can go big show at the end of the year. I think I like the move, because get more people and, let all these people that don't like each, like if say, oh, Lance don't like extremes. Well, let's let Lance meet some of these extreme people and owners and dogs. And the people that don't like classics, let them meet some of these nice classics. And, maybe it'll, it could be good. It's just all how the community takes it, right? Like, unless, if everybody gets on there and bashes each other, it's not going to be a good look. But if everybody's like, hey, man, I went in there hating extremes, but I saw some really nice extremes and, something that I would maybe even consider breeding to, that's kind of why I'm going. I want to see like you, Jerry, like what's out there,
Yeah. Like Amanda says, she said she's seen some beautiful bullies that simply never reached minimum height. It's a shame. And I agree with that. If Maggie was a 1/4 inch shorter, she never would have been able to show and become a champion.
That's what you
know,
said to me.
Just a quarter of an inch, and it's like, so, some of these, again, it all comes down to quality, doesn't it?
I think so. I think so.
Amanda says she agrees with you, Lance.
Well,
so,
I mean, but it's always going to be that. Like, there's going to be people out there like Amanda that are like, yeah, we agree. And then there's going to be people out there that are going to say, oh, screw the extremes. And there's going to be people out there, man, get them classics out there. We're trying to better and bullier the breed. And, I think Go ahead.
You have a bunch of people that think the classic no longer belongs in the show ring.
Yeah.
I want a big standard. I don't know if I would push another classic hard like I did the one I have,
Yeah, but when you were pushing him, he wasn't a classic.
Bullshit. He's been a classic since day one, class and everything. The only time he was in standard was when he was puppy class, when they do that 6 to 9 and 9 to 12.
So John Wayne was always in the classic class?
Always, ever since day one.
I didn't know that. I thought he was standard and then
Oh no, hell no.
Oh, okay. I miss all this time I've misunderstood them.
Yeah, he's never been in the standard. I mean, like I said, when he was a puppy, but I mean, he's
Well, did John Wayne brand before he was a year old?
He champed out at 7 months. He granded at 13 or 14 months.
Okay.
Yeah. But yeah, he champed out at 7 months. Got his first best in show at 7 months. But and just found out yesterday that he was number 2 in the world in USBR in 2023 and just got my certificate. So shout out USBR. I wish I'd have known. I'd have tried to push a little harder and at least came to your nationals, but I know they're getting everything going and started. So, but we, do appreciate that little award, So that's another checkpoint of having a dog top 5 in the world that we checked off. So now there ain't nothing but number 1, Jerry. Keep that COI machine running, baby. We're going to run some shit through there, boy.
I talked about that a little bit last night on
oh yeah, no, I've seen some pretty Merles.
On that podcast. I let them know we were working on a little something.
Don't tell them everything, Jay.
I told them they wouldn't know anything about it for about 3 years.
Oh Lord, have mercy. I hope it works out. We're gonna put it together.
Hey, I do too.
I still feel like you got to breed the dog in front of you, don't you, Jared? I know Jared's answer on this.
Oh well, yeah.
What'd you say, Jared?
I said, oh yeah, a lot of times I do. You look at what's in front of you, man.
I talk a lot about COI and things like that, but you can't look at and make breeding decisions in a vacuum, only considering one side of it. There's 3 different major decisions that you have to make before you go forward with a breeding decision. And I can just point those out. Phenotype, genotype, right? And then temperament, really, right?
Temperament's big for me, bro.
Yeah, absolutely it is.
But now I'm not saying if a dog's trying to chew the cage, I'll shoot through the wire and he's everything I wanted in a stud.
Yeah.
I'm just going to take him to a super sweet female and hope for the best because,
Yeah, just keep buying crates,
That's all right. No, put them in good homes, man. What I'm trying to do, I was keeping them a lot, but I'm trying to find just good homes, even if it's no money, man. Like good homes for the ones that I'm trying to watch and keep, and work with good people. And I've been blessed so far, man. I've had some really good co-owners. All besides Jared.
Oh yeah.
I'm just playing.
Yeah, I know I suck as a co-owner, but.
I'm picking that dog up from you, Jared. When am I getting that? I guess I can holler at you when I get off here. Are you at work or off?
No, I'm off. Like I said, I'm off, and well, I had school today, so I'm off.
I'll holler at you
Well,
when I get. I'll holler at you when we get off here in about 40 minutes, 30 minutes.
That's true.
But yeah,
Well,
anybody else want to talk about anything or get on here? Or, Jared, you got anything else you want to say? Or?
no, man. I was just sitting here watching y'all. Figured I'd just ask, man. Like I said, just throw a
Well,
question out there.
you can stay on if you want to.
I don't know, man. I'm about to get in here with these kids and stuff for a little bit and
All
stuff.
right, boy. Appreciate you
But
watching,
yeah,
bro. Hey, try to tag some people or something when you get off or something, Jared, in the post. Tag some people.
Amanda,
all
would
right,
you
I
like
got you.
to come on?
All right, bro. Yeah, bring Amanda on. See what she's wanting to talk about. I hadn't seen her in a long time.
Well,
Since
let
I
me
think
send
the podcast that we did.
let me send her an invite.
Wasn't she on Bully Talk with Caleb and them?
Yeah,
Okay, that's what I thought. I was making sure it was the same one.
it is.
Like I said, man, I can barely see the writing and see the picture. That's why I say, man, I got to get a bigger screen, Jerry. Christmas, I'm gonna wrap you something. We're gonna get better. Christmas.
Oh yeah, because you're on your damn phone.
I'm on my damn phone, and I got the one that folds open, but I'm scared
dude.
that I didn't fold it open before we started, and I'm scared to do that, and it's gonna switch off or something stupid. So we're little screening
Right.
tonight. Yeah. Sure.
Amanda, I sent you an invite. Check your messenger if you want to come on. If you don't, that's okay. But I think since you put up with me for 2.5 hours last night, you should
Probably don't want to come on. Damn.
Yes, you probably do.
No.
She probably don't. She might be. And since she's not hosting tonight, she might be in her jammies with the curlers in her hair.
Yeah. Any other comments or anything, Jerry? I know we don't have a.
Well, what Amanda did say was that we're so young. Most of your favorite breeds didn't look like they do now. Back in the early 20th century, breeds change more than you know, and that's a fact. I mean, they do change over time. They evolve. Sometimes they evolve for the good, and sometimes they evolve for the bad. But they do obviously evolve. I think the French Bulldog needs to go back by about 50 years, but and put a muzzle back on it. But
Yeah. I don't know. I mean, I've shown a little bit in UKC too, and you see the different breeds. That's what I would love. And I know that's probably Dave and them's vision too. Like you see a poodle that's a standard poodle or medium size or a regular poodle or a little miniature poodle. If you were to zoom in on their face and take a picture of their face and stuff, you wouldn't be able to tell what's up. What's up, Amanda?
Hey.
See, she got a good speaker on her stuff, Jerry.
yeah, well,
Amanda, we're gonna step our game up, girl. We y'all, we're gonna step our game up like Tuesday night talk.
Oh,
We gotta get some better.
that compliment. That means a lot for real.
But go ahead, Amanda. If you want to talk about the question that was asked, Jared, said, what do you think about the national stuff? And I don't know if you heard what we said, but we're not, if you didn't, we can kind of chime in after you say what you got to say. But we're just open mic, us, no drama or nothing, just keep it positive and all that stuff. But what's your opinion on everything? Since everybody wants to talk about that, I guess.
No, I
well,
mean,
before she gets started now, when this all first started last week, she made some really nice posts about it and everything, and most I didn't agree with at all, but she made some really nice posts about it.
I love you so much right now. Well, I mean, I look at it this way. It's just like now, and first and foremost, it absolutely has to be disclaimed that I'm a breed purist at heart. I'm an absolute and utter snob. Okay. So, when I first got into bullies, I remember being just staunch and steadfast with, not only just breed to the standard, but like I would get mad when people would bring dogs that had, very mastiff or bulldog type features that were a little, You know, it's like, oh, I know what you did there. You know, like that would get me, that would upset me. And, you know, the thing is, and it still does. It still does. But then, you know, through, you know, what we do with Susanna Bully Talk, you know, meeting all these people, talking to people that work their way all the way back to the origins of this breed and beyond, people that have been there since the beginning. And also actually doing some research myself on not our breed, but a totally different one, like many different ones, because I wanted to kind of get a consensus. And the reality of it is this is such a young breed, incredibly young, stupid young, really.
How many years, Amanda?
Huh?
Do you know exactly how many years?
Well, so
I don't want to put you on the
it was,
spot or nothing, but I'm curious myself. I don't know off the top of my head. I've heard a couple people say it.
well, so while they were trying to develop it and kind of give it its own personality that would differentiate it from its predecessors, from its foundation stock being obviously Amstaffs, pit bulls, things like that, trying to kind of separate it from the terrier started like back in the late 80s, early 90s. But it wasn't until around 2004, obviously, there was a registry that was before the ABKC. That never really took off. So, I mean, when I talk about the founding registry, yes, there was another one before it, but I'm talking about the ABKC because they're the ones that they stayed. They stuck around. They went ahead and they did, they essentially acknowledged the breed and established it as an independent breed, acknowledging it under their wing. And then went from there and worked towards getting it acknowledged by other registries. Obviously, in this case, you know, in 2014, it was the UKC. Begrudgingly so. They weren't very happy about it, and they weren't very nice about it anyways, because they were still kind of salty about the fact that, you know.
Now they're showing American bullies now.
Yes, they are, and they're being.
It's the same thing with ABKC kind of growing, you know. I mean, UKC exactly. Did too, right? So.
Yeah, absolutely. And the thing is so you're looking at about 20 years. You're looking at about 20 years of established breeding when they opened the stud books, right? ABKC, when they technically quote unquote, opened the stud books, was 2004-ish. So you're looking at 20 years.
Okay.
Two decades ain't that long. I mean, no. when you're looking at some of these other, you know, more established breeds, I mean, they were like 40, 50 or more years in to, you know, breeding before they even established, before they even got acknowledged or recognized, before, you know, their kennel clubs were, you know, either formed and were able to get, you know, their breeds recognized. So, I mean, it's just, and the best part about it, and my personal favorite is, you know, and this is easy, guys, Google it. Like, because this is what I had to do. Because again, you have to check yourself. You have to be willing to kind of look outside of your blinders and thinking like, because again, breed purist, super snob, and yet I'm just like, you know what? I want to know. I want to understand, you know, dog breeds from the perception of people who have been dealing with breeds that are much older. You know, so these breeds change. Like the German Shepherds of today.
Oh yeah.
They didn't look like that back in the early 1900s. The Bull Terrier, that egg-shaped head, that's new, by the way. That's new. They didn't look like that back in 1912. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, even Yorkies. Newfoundlands, those beautiful bear giant dogs, Newfoundlands and Landseers. They didn't look like that either. They were far more narrow, you know, longer muzzle. They did not look like what they look like now. Great Pyrenees, same thing. A vast majority of these dog breeds, the longer they exist, the more changes ultimately get made. And they get made because the breeders get together and they start seeing not necessarily fads per se, but they start establishing preferences. And they're saying, and, you know, and if it's a preference that can be, you know, justified, if it is one that is easily obtainable by other breeders, and it doesn't jeopardize the health of the dog. Now, that last one, some people don't really care about that. No, I mean, considering that some dog breeds still exist the way that they do, I mean, it kind of makes you wonder whether or not it's like, really, guys? I mean, you should probably look into that. So obviously,
they took the Cavalier King Charles Spaniel and modified it so much that its brain no longer will fit its skull.
Yeah, they squished everything
as they
in.
grow,
Yeah,
right?
yeah, yeah.
It's terrible. I mean,
Devastating.
we take, and I say we as humans, we will take a dog breed sometimes to the point now where certain countries you're not allowed to breed those dogs anymore because we've messed them up.
Man.
Oh yeah, American Rottweilers and German Rottweilers, not the same thing.
Completely different.
So how do y'all feel about where since you're a purist, Amanda, and seem to be, really knowledgeable, where do you feel like since you've been around the breed since it started pretty much, where do you feel that it's going in a good direction? Do you feel like it's going in, and I know that you're a purist, and so when you say purist, I mean, you like conformation, like health, like.
Yeah, yes, those are obviously incredibly important as far as I'm concerned. Because when you're talking about, not just preservation, but, basically perpetuation of a breed,
That's right.
the longevity and temperament and, actual structure, conformation, is the only way you're actually going to successfully do that, I feel, because, then you're going to get these dogs that, only live, a few years. No one's going to want that. So, so obviously those fads will probably see themselves out, hopefully. But
I've seen it change really fast. And like, I've only been doing this for 4 or 5 years, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I've seen it from the day we started. Like the dog I started with wouldn't even have a class now. Like she wouldn't even be considered a classic now. She's, that small. And, and I champed her out. And to me, just somebody new coming in, like, damn, we're changing this year. Damn, we're changing again.
It's kind of confusing. Absolutely.
We're picking dogs with, so to me, I don't know. That's why I sit back and I just really want to breed, like, and get that dog that does have the mass in the head, even if it's not the most, but does have more, but the top line's still good, bite's still good, speed is still, and like you said, the health,
Yes, absolutely. Yeah. It's so when it comes to what's happening right now, so we have to understand that the ABKC, they're an organization that they kind of do move with the times. They kind of have to in order to survive. And, luckily, some of the people that are, on the committees or panels, people running it, they know that breeds evolve. They're hyper aware of that fact. But what they also understand is that, this breed has been in the hands of the public since day one. So it literally, they just kind of, at that point, they're just like, okay, here's what we expect. Here you go. And to all of us, like not just, most breeds are in the hands of, a conglomeration of kennels that literally work together to create this breed over several decades before releasing it to the public, right? This breed was public day one, which is, which feels pretty unique, but it also, it's going to have to allow for some wiggle room here and there because, we're the ones that move it. We're steering, they handed us the keys. Like,
it was crowdsourced.
Yeah, it's very crowdsourced. And so the thing is they're listening to people. And, I was saying earlier, in the comments that, as a breed continues to evolve, you're having a lot of line breeding, occur, which obviously that's how you lock in these traits. So that needs to happen, in order to start veering towards more, consistent productions across the board. With that, you're also coming across smaller dogs in a general sense, smaller litters, smaller dogs. And you're getting all these, I have seen personally a multitude of pockets being bred, and they produce, for the most part, the litter that they produce, can have, pockets, but a lot of them will randomly throw in what ultimately will never breach height minimum, right? So you got this bully little mother sucker that looks just like mom or just like pop, beautifully formed, beautifully balanced, and it just didn't make height. What an effing shame, right? So, I think that this is a good opportunity to kind of showcase some of these varieties, because these people, they talk to the ABKC. They're like, hey, I mean, this kind of sucks. I went ahead and registered all the litter. Everything's great and everything. Because when you register litter, obviously you don't know how tall these dogs are going to get. That's asinine. Nobody can predict that. So you just go ahead and you register the American Bully and call it a day. And then however they grow, right? And so at that point, like when you start showing them, that's when you determine a class when they reach a certain age. So that's all fine. That's common knowledge. But what happens if they never breach? Now you just got this beautiful dog for no damn reason, right? You can't title them. You can breed them if you want to. But at the same time, it's just like, I honestly think that, and it's the same with Merles. You've got, again, there's a lot of Merles out there that'll hurt your feelings. Like if they start showing up to these shows,
beautiful Merles.
Yeah, me too. And it's just one of those things
where
where
I have one.
I mean, and the thing is I don't know if I'd ever, if I'd ever have one, because I sometimes I feel like it's, I would be painting myself into a corner, breed wise, because I don't have a lot of dogs. So getting one, I don't know. But at the same time, it's just like, it is something that, could be considered. But again, I would want to be able to campaign that dog. And if I can't, and it's founding registry, and I love BRC, I love USBR, ICBR. Like I love these registries that give the opportunity for you to register your dogs. But there's really not, it's not that there's no contest, but there's just something about having an ABKC title for your dog. That's the founding registry for your dog. I mean, there's something that
goes with that.
Yeah, there's something that just kind of feels really like you just accomplished something like massive. I mean, every title counts. As far as I'm concerned, it's one of those things that they're all special. They're all going to make you feel great. But sometimes it's just, winning that ABKC title it holds a smidge more weight. So I can see why, people that have these dogs that are, literally the only thing that is not breed standard about them is their pattern or their height. I feel for them.
And the ABKC lets you register them. Go ahead.
They're registered. I mean, yeah, they're registered. So, I mean, at that point,
you register the dog, to me, that I would be so pissed as an owner. Okay, you can take my $35 or $50 or whatever, but now I can just breed this dog, but I can't go to the show. But a lot of people aren't like us, Amanda and Jerry. We're show people, obviously, right? That's where we've met. That's where we bumped into. I mean, that's how we know each other. So your take on the Nationals is, even though you're a purist, you're kind of that's where I'm like on the fence about it. Like, I hate to say, hell yeah, let's do it, because my whole time I've been, we need to structure this, but at the same time, those people are putting in just as much time, just as much money with breedings and food and vet bills. And hey, if it and like I said, if it makes Nationals and shows bigger and better, because the bigger and the better the show, the better the competition. And I want to go against the best of the best, even if I get my ass drugged. That's how you get better.
If I get beat by a better dog, I'm okay with it. I can go with my head held high if I'm beaten by a better dog.
Or a good handler. This has happened to me. Yeah. A good handler hiding a flaw better, and you can't do nothing but respect that. I mean, that's just time and
damn, you know what you're doing. That's what I want to be when I grow up. Well, my mindset on it is, obviously, I want there to obviously be an air of caution. Like I feel that that's actually kind of what's happening here. Is instead of just making the executive decision and be like, oh, we're going to drop the pocket minimum height to 12, or just guess what, everybody, Merles are accepted now. Woo, they're sanctioned. Instead of making the executive decision, they are taking kind of not the pressure, but sort of the advocation that people are putting forth for these varieties. They're taking that and they're like, okay, you know what? Let's put this kind of up to the people. Let's put this in the eyes and hands of our judges and into our breeders, so that way they can see what's out there more than just these negative pictures that people put up on Facebook of these gremlin looking, you know, exotics that don't turn out right. They malformed. You know, when people think of micros, a lot of people, that's the first thing their head goes to. They're not thinking about basically a breed standard pocket that just never made the right height, right? They're not thinking about that. They're thinking about this with the teeth coming out the front. That's what they're thinking about. So, you know, if you get the best of the best, you get the best of these varieties put in the eyes of the public, in the hands of the judges, you're going to have a lot of people that take a look at that and they're like, that's not what I thought this was.
That's right.
They might be onto something. And then you get good breeders involved, right? You get even more good breeders and good advocates involved with these varieties to basically help iron out the kinks and make sure that they are doing what's necessary to keep those varieties in the right hands.
So let me throw this out there, Amanda. So we have ABKC's came out with a standard many years ago, and then basically tweaked the standard a little bit in 2014, right?
Yep.
So people that have been breeding micros, people who have been breeding other varieties, if you will, have basically said, well, screw the standard. I'm going to do what I want to do. And shows are supposed to be about evaluating breed stock.
Yeah, adherence to
that's what a show is supposed to be for.
Absolutely.
So basically what we're doing is if these dogs are validated, right, we're rewarding them for behavior that was not upholding the standard that we set out to have as a breed. And so why would we as a community reward those behaviors when they just went off and you have micros and you know, exotics or whatever you want to call them, and
yeah,
you know, those are created by extreme dwarfism through what I would call irresponsible breeding practices.
Yeah,
right?
absolutely.
Because high inbreeding coefficients drive dwarfism, which decreases the length of the life of the dog. Now, as breeders, why would we want to showcase that as breeding brood stock, right, through our show formats when when we know those dogs do not live a long life? Why would we want to reward that? I'm playing devil's advocate here. Why would we want to do that?
Well, so I look at it this way. We wouldn't have the American Bully if people followed rules.
Oh, that's right.
The Bull Terrier wouldn't have its egg-shaped head if people followed rules. The German Shepherd wouldn't be as big and burly as it is now if people followed rules.
Once we had rules, though, right?
Well, they did too, like, and those rules changed. And again, it had everything to do with breeders kind of taking the wheel and being like, hey, listen, you know, there's some variations, you know, that I'm seeing coming out during some of my breedings, or I'm kind of breeding towards this. Because selective breeding is a hell of a drug, first and foremost. And so it's one of those things where you're going to have people out there that push the envelope a smidge, right? That's the only reason this breed even exists in the first place. And so we've got to be willing to be a little flexible. We're only 20 years in. And we don't have the consistency that we need to even consider situations like, oh, I don't know, Westminster. You know what I mean?
Well,
we
continually change to accommodate those who don't want to breed to the standard, will we ever be consistent?
And here's what I'm thinking is, you know, when it comes to, you know, kind of pushing the envelope a little bit, I feel that firstly, our breed is very, very unique in the sense where it has classes. It doesn't have separate breeds, right? You don't have your miniatures, standard, giants, you don't toys. You don't have them, right? Now, eventually, many years from now, is that going to be the case? I would wager to say yes. If you asked me to put money on it, I would say yes. Eventually, that is where we're headed. And the only way we're going to get there is if we start to wiggle a little bit in being able to differentiate our classes from one another. So dropping the minimum height, on a pocket by an inch or two, I don't think is too extreme, right? An inch or two. But at the same time, what that'll do is it's going to start to shift that pocket and its body and everything about it. It's going to start to shift it just enough away from that standard and that classic that you would be able to be like, now it can be its own breed, right? And the same with the XL. You start to shift, you start to really kind of pull them apart like cheese, like until you have separate pieces. So I think that you're going to get a little bit closer to that if you are a little bit more flexible.
Well,
And,
Dave's even said that's what they want to do. Right.
And so it's when it comes to especially these miniatures, these micros, they do happen by accident. And there's a lot of them out there that, they're the result of like crap, how come this dog never met height? Now, are there people out there that are actually breeding micros? Yeah, there are. And there are actually quite a few of them that look pretty damn good.
The Tompkins and Hans, they got some good stuff.
Oh yeah. I mean, again, there's going to be some
rainy day bullies.
Mm-hmm. And that's what Dave is asking for. That's what he said in the original post. He was very, very, very clear that he's like, don't bring a train wrecks. He's like, I want the best of the best. And he does that because he wants to make sure that we, the public, are seeing these varieties in a way that's, in real time. We can put our hands on them. And so we're not just looking on Facebook when micros are really just exotics. These, they're not the same thing. They're absolutely not the same thing. So in order to really make that, abundantly clear to the public is to actually show them what this is. A lot of people, when they see Merles, sometimes they're seeing those exotics or those, Merle Frenchies that are way too overdone with the massive ropes. And that's what they see. And they're like, oh, well, that's what's going to happen with Merle. Oh God, but have they seen a good Merle? They need to see these so that way it becomes more realistic. It literally kind of puts it into a perspective of, oh, this is achievable without losing our identity, without losing our breed. And when it comes to, the more extreme that they're also trying to showcase as well, I think that has its place. Our breed in and of itself is extreme in, because everything's relative. When you compare it to other breeds, it is extreme. When you compare it to when its predecessors, right? It was built on a wow factor. Literally a wow factor mentality is what built this breed from the ground up. And it continues to help it evolve. Now, I know that a lot of people, they get the immediate response to this, hearing that there was going to be a showcase with these varieties that aren't sanctioned, is the sky is falling. What do we breed to? I'm like, the standard did not change. Don't panic. The standard hasn't changed yet. It has only changed once since its inception, since it was established. It was changed once, and that was, just like you said earlier, 2014. And they basically, at that juncture, they took out the extreme class because what they did was they took the features of the extreme that they felt did not jeopardize the health of the dog, that didn't make the dog at risk for anything awful, and they put that into the standard, the actual breed standard for not just the standard class, but what filtered up and down to the XL and to the pocket as well. Because again, pockets are the standard but shorter, and then the XLs are the standard but taller, right? Which may or may not eventually change either, but it hasn't changed yet. That change was made, I think, at a pretty good time. As a matter of fact, I don't think it could have been a better timing. And the reason I say that is because we want to iron these out. And I mean, at this point, if we can iron them out expeditiously, if not sooner, the better, the closer we're going to come to that goal. So honestly, if we're going to start making any kind of changes or shifts in any one direction to kind of flex and ebb and flow, we got
to dip that toe in the pond and check it out.
We got to do that now. And I really think that, as we're, approaching this 20th year of being an established breed, I think that we really need to walk into it with a mindset of a little bit of wiggle room,
So that's. I'm sorry, y'all. It's chicken and dumplings. I'm telling you, I'm about to tear the club up. I'm just cooling them off. I'm my bad. I just seen that they was in front. Look, I'm like you, Amanda. Like I want bigger dogs and stuff like that, and so it was good for me to hear your opinion because to be honest, I figured you would have been like, no, 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 no.
Oh, I'm a snob. It's the worst. But that's what I mean. Is like I made myself look at alternative, reasonings, and there's method to this madness. There always is. So I spoke to several people, who have been here since the beginning, to get kind of where their heads at. Even Dave himself, and I researched just a lot of breed history of other breeds to kind of again wrap my head around how long it takes to actually establish a breed with the consistency that is required for, registries like the AKC, like the dogs that you see now. And again, that changes too, because the dogs you see now aren't the dogs that they were, even.
I look at them like illegal aliens. We're going to reward them for breaking the rules.
Well, but that's the thing. Again, we would not even have a breed.
That was a joke, Amanda.
Huh? Oh, it was a joke.
Well, look,
maybe a bad.
I like your opinion, and I mean, and your input. I really do. Because that's kind of where I'm at with it. I mean, because I wasn't even going to go to nationals, because strictly just because we don't have nothing to bring out. That we feel like is ready to bring out. So
we have a side show, Carnival.
But now I may just show up. I talked to Bry the other day, Jerry, and he said that he was maybe wanting to go. So we may show up to nationals, man. We may.
I really hope to see you there. I'm going. I'm not bringing a dog. Mary's going. I'm going to church. I'm not bringing a dog.
Have they sold out of booths yet?
No, I don't think so. They posted within the last week or two that there were still booths available. So I'd get with Regina. But yeah, I mean, it's just become a tradition. Like for me, this will be my third year. So I feel like I haven't, I'm still brand new to this, but we've already developed our traditions. Again, I'm not bringing any dogs this year. And I love being there as a guest because then I can be ringside, watching the judges dissect. And, I think that adding this fun show, or not fun show, I'm sorry, a showcase. If you want to go ahead and, pick it apart, you can be like, oh, it is a fun show because it's not sanctioned and, it's essentially not for points. You're just going there to showcase your dogs. But at the same time, I think showcase is probably really the most accurate term you can choose.
I think we changed from showcase to we're dipping our toe in the pond. To see what's going on.
Oh yeah. Well, and I mean, kind of, yeah. I mean, in all reality, it is kind of like even like a wine testing. It's like, I don't want to buy an entire bottle until I can, go through these and see if they're even my type, Till
I get drunk off these other 6 samples y'all got later.
What do you mean you haven't been spitting out the wine, ma'am? You're new to this. Well, yeah.
Look, I got to get off here and eat. I've already pushed supper back, for eating with my family. So I'm going to eat. But Jerry, you and Amanda, y'all keep it rolling, bro. I hate I got to get off, but I got to, I don't want to be divorced.
I have premarital duties to attend to. I promised her.
Oh, yeah.
I spend time with her tonight.
And we hate to cut you short, Amanda.
No, not at all. My man's waiting for me, too. He's just like, oh, you're going to go. Okay.
Well, look, good talking.
Hey, just so you know, Amanda, I have my bourbon tonight. So
my beer's waiting out there.
Look, maybe we'll see you at nationals, Amanda. Appreciate you coming on.
I hope so. And thanks for having me. I mean, I love talking dogs with people who love them like I do. So it's been a pleasure.
We appreciate your perspective, Amanda.
Thank you again. But you guys go be husbands to your wives and fathers to your children and eat your dinners.
Thank you.
And all that, right?
All right.
Good.
All right, bye, guys.
Oh, okay. Well, Lance just left to go eat. I remember him getting on to me one time about, trying to get ready to start this podcast and, trying to get a little food in, and then he pulls up his plate. right in front of the camera. Of course, he didn't. I guess he didn't know that's what he was doing. But hey, guys, I appreciate everybody joining and the comments and everything. Didn't have an answer real or an opportunity to really get to a lot of the comments tonight. So apologize for that. With the big dialogue regarding the variety showcase that's going to be at Nationals, and that has been a pretty heated topic for the last week or so. So much so that Dave came on a Facebook Live on Monday and gave a full dissertation regarding why it was being done and the genesis for having it happen, that kind of thing. And I didn't watch it because I was otherwise busy, but I did catch him earlier. He came on his page and talked about it for about 45 minutes. And look, I will get back to me and my personal opinion. I do feel like it's rewarding people who decided to, for no other reason that they wanted to do what they wanted to do. And, they set out to breed dogs that didn't conform to the standard. And so, as a breed, you commit to breeding to the breed standard, and then folks just go off on a tangent and do whatever the hell they want to do. And personally, I don't cotton to that, as they say down south. But sometimes you can't change the flow of water. Things are going to happen the way that they're going to happen. If you like breeding a certain type of dog, we used to say when I bred horses, when I go in the barn, I need to love what I'm looking at, right? And so I feel like the same thing applies, when you're breeding dogs. When you got into this breed and you decided to breed dogs, there was a certain type of dog that you had in your mind's eye, right? That made you fall in love with the breed, or over time, maybe you developed a little bit more of an eye for the dog, and you said, and maybe you saw other dogs, you're like, this is the kind of dog that I'm going to breed. And so you set out on that path. And I encourage, like myself, I encourage you to, to stick with that and to do your best to breed by the standard as it is written. And keep moving forward and keep breeding good dogs. Yeah, no doubt. Antonio, I don't think I'm, going to be able to make it, but, there probably will be some very nice, non-standard dogs in that variety showcase. I get back to, again, the question of whether or not, those dogs should be allowed to go forward as a breed stock representative, in sanctioned shows. And so I guess we'll see what the masses say. I will say this. I would have no problem, dropping the standard for pockets by 1 inch. But again, the shorter, the smaller dogs and things like that, for the most part now, are derived out of intense inbreeding, with what they call, the dwarfism, right? And, it's not just the physical expression of the dog that is affected by being smaller. there are also internal issues, from a reproductive standpoint, length of life, loss of vigor, and that kind of thing that dogs with dwarfism and high inbreeding coefficients and stuff that are affected by. So by breeding those type of dogs, you're basically saying, oh, it's okay to produce dogs that we know are only going to have a 3 to 5 year lifespan. I just don't think that's the right path, but that's a personal opinion of mine, and we'll see how things shake out. But Lance and I, we apologize, for the change in the schedule tonight. We appreciate those of you who did decide to tune in and and chat with us and post your comments. And while I may not have been able to get to everybody's comment to post it and or address it, we do appreciate it. I did screen and read most of them. And again, we always appreciate your participation. And with that, we'll say good night. We will be rescheduling FW Spielberg. I would venture to guess that it will probably be second Wednesday of next month. We'll definitely verify that with him. Spilly, as I call him, and a lot of people call him that name, is a super cool guy. Been in a breed for a long time. And so we really wanted to have him on. So we'll get back to him, and we'll see you on second Wednesday of November. So we'll see you in about a month. Thanks for tuning in, guys. Take care.